Jewish people own all the property in America? That's how they did it. Financial freedom, my only hope. Living rich.
And I was like, oh, that would suck.
What's happening, man? You already know what it is. It's Twice Talk, and we are listener supported by 91.5 The Rebel, HD2, Las Vegas, the broadcast service of UNLV. And of course, I'm always accompanied by the fantastic Oak. How you doing today?
Hey, she right on in, and I'm kind of sad today.
How you gonna be right on in for the win?
She right on in with an attitude. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, well, hopefully we can clear that up today with the communication master herself, Stephaine Blanchard. How you doing today?
Hello, I'm
Sorry
so
for chopping it up. You know, we like to chop and screw. They say that's the only way the music goes in the South, so that's how we're gonna represent a little bit. But Stephaine, how's the day going?
The day is going fabulous. I'm so excited to be here with you guys.
Oh,
Thank
appreciate you coming out to the
Yes,
studio,
of
blessing the
course.
studio indeed. And, you know, we're going to dive in deep with the communications a little bit, because we all need to just grow a little bit and just speak a little bit better. So one of the things with communication is that you have to be able to connect with people as well. So when you connect with people, or when you communicate with people, what is the most important thing, to be a good communicator or a good listener?
I feel like they go hand in hand, because technically listening is part of communicating. And I feel like without listening, you can't communicate at all. But so I feel like they go together. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Well, they are a little different, but they do go together.
Yeah,
So,
peanut butter jelly.
oh, I think they're both so important. I mean, probably, I don't know. I think they're both really important. I think you have to communicate in any relationship, no matter what it is. Boyfriends, girlfriends, family, friends, work, anything. But without listening, you can't really, I mean, you can still communicate, but you can't really communicate, you know what I mean? Like, listening's
You're
so
not going to
important.
absorb
You can't
anything
understand,
to respond well or something like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I think we should all be good listeners, too. So
Yeah.
you got to listen to each other.
What makes a good listener?
Somebody who, I think a lot of people, you know, they say that like most people listen only to respond, not to understand.
Yes.
But you need to listen to understand someone, because if you're just responding, you're just trying to come up with an answer. You're not really trying to really see what they're saying and understand what they're getting at. And I think that's part of communicating too, being able to understand who you're talking to, who you're communicating with. So
Yeah, finding that common ground so that you can build on that relationship.
yeah.
So I got a couple qualities of a poor listener.
Okay.
I want to know if you...
Let's get on those.
how many people you know like this, and if you are guilty of a couple of these.
Okay.
So you qualify as a poor listener if you frequently interrupt others, jump to the conclusion of the speaker, or hurry the speaker to get to the conclusion.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to do any of those things.
You sure?
I always do the last one.
I mean,
Hurry the speaker up.
I'm like, come on, get to it.
yeah, I think we all want to do that sometimes. Like, no one wants anyone to, like, ramble or anything. But, I mean, I try to listen to people. I try not to rush people.
Yeah.
Try.
I try. I
And
think we
what-
all
and
just
what
try.
happens? What usually happens? How you get someone to speed up? Like,
Say get to the point.
oh yeah,
Dang.
there's no tactfulness at all in it. Oh, that's how they feeling. Oh,
I know. Sometimes we don't have all day to listen.
Some people
Sometimes
know
they
that they're
don't
rambling.
Yeah,
some people
some
know that
people
they're
know.
rambling. So you're just like, okay, girl,
So
let me
where are we getting
reroute you
at?
back to the topic. It's okay.
And you know what the worst listener is? The people who take everything that you're saying and relate it to themselves. Like, oh, well, this happened to me. And then blah, 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 and start talking about
The
themselves.
one-uppers.
Yes.
I call
That's
them
what you call
one-uppers. That's what I call them.
why you call them that?
I let them have that. I'm just like, oh, okay. I don't think that they do it intentionally, though. I think it's just something that happens sometimes.
Something that happens sometimes.
Yeah, and it's
I
okay.
think it might be a little more than sometimes.
I think we're all guilty of it a little bit, but there's some people who do it all the time, and it's like the most irritating.
What does that say about a person if they're always trying to one up somebody? No.
Maybe they're trying to relate, and they don't know a friendlier way to do it.
What? They're trying to relate. Oh man, come on now. Actually, they might be. But
Yeah.
like a lot of people just really have a common need, to want to be better than somebody else. Just what it really is. So if anytime they get a chance to one up somebody, they're gonna take that chance, and that's what makes people feel like they're a lot more favoritism than others. I was looking for. I wrote this down. I was looking for it, but there's a couple of communication styles that I wanted to go through. Did you have any questions?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, there's a couple of communication styles, what would be a couple of the communication styles that you know about, or that one of your favorite communication styles?
What do you mean?
Okay, I'll read a couple.
Like ebonics, or what are we
ebonics?
talking about here?
That's what.
That might be my favorite.
Hey, you get the job done, But there's assertiveness, aggressiveness.
Oh, we don't like aggressive.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes
passive aggressive. Sometimes.
Sometimes it's appropriate.
And I was there. There was a couple more: assertiveness, aggressive, passive aggressive, submissive.
Okay.
And manipulative.
Ooh.
That's his favorite. Let's see how he said it.
They all sound
manipulative.
They all sound bad?
Yeah.
Which one is worse then?
Manipulative.
I think that all of
manipulators.
them could kind of be used in different situations.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You think a manipulator is
the worst?
You just got a negative connotation
when I think
manipulation?
When I think of manipulators, I think of like friends or boyfriends or whatever that manipulate you into doing things, and most of the time you don't even realize it's happening, which is the sad part. But some people are so good at it, and I'm like,
some people are so good at it.
They are.
What's the best time you've ever seen someone use manipulation? And a lot of people use manipulation only on temptation.
True.
Yet I'll tell you like this.
What do you mean by that? Only on temptation?
Well, people are usually fall susceptible to manipulation because of temptation, or because of their wants or their needs.
Okay.
But also, when you really get to real swift with your words, talk about, you could manipulate someone for the greater good.
But why do you associate manipulation with something that's negative?
That's what I'm saying.
Because when you're manipulating someone, I feel like you're making them do something that they really
don't want to do.
Yeah.
That they wouldn't do normally.
Yeah, they wouldn't normally do it. And you're in some way making them think that, like you're not going to do that or something. You know what I mean? Like you're going to do something that you didn't want to do, and they're making you do it without you even realizing. So I feel like it's always a bad thing.
So what if you just didn't like the pair of shoes that you got, and then I had to manipulate you and let you know that you be walking real good in them? Is that a bad way to think about manipulation?
I guess not.
Oh, okay.
That was cute.
I didn't think about
somebody
it like
feel good.
I guess when I think about manipulating people, I think of bad things. But I guess
for sure,
you're right. It could be seen like.
So what about the word aggression? Do you believe being aggressive with your communication style is a negative connotation?
I think sometimes when I think of being aggressive, I think of just getting to the point. This is what I need. This is what we're doing. And I think that's not a bad thing. But then when you think of aggressive, you think of someone who's just too much.
Yeah.
So, I think it could be both ways again. But when I think of aggressive, I automatically think more negative. I think so.
I like. What do you think about?
I wonder if both of those words are associated with something bad because we're women.
Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
yes,
because
sure.
I automatically go to relationships
Yeah.
or when you're talking to a man or something that's what I go to.
Or sometimes they try to say that women manipulate men into doing things for them.
Well, they do.
Yeah.
She's like, oh no, that's okay.
Baby trying to start arguments for no reason. That's manipulation right there.
That is.
Yeah.
I think my least favorite out of those is passive aggressiveness.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Passive aggressiveness is something that I just cannot deal with.
That's what.
It's like, look, I don't want to try to figure out what's going on. Just tell me.
I think I do that.
Just
sometimes.
be direct.
But
in some aspects you can use passive aggressiveness. Like I want to say at when I found it useful at one point in some situation. I'm trying to think.
Useful?
I'm trying to think.
Well, while you're thinking about that, there's a definition of aggression that aggression always has a negative connotation. But I want to change the definition of aggression. Because if you look up definition of it, it says something like a violent act or something like that.
It said violent?
Yeah,
Ew.
the word violence in there.
That's interesting.
But see, aggression should be defined as any way of trying to get your way happen, or a form of trying to get your way happen in a situation. And that's why there can be passive aggression.
Yeah, passive aggression is like when people drop little slick hints, but they don't really say what they want.
How is it bad though? How like?
I don't like it
annoying.
Because I think that it's manipulative. It's just tell me what it is. Don't try to be cute about it.
Don't be cute.
Don't be cute.
Why not? I mean, she the one who always says keep it cute or keep it on mute. So, so guess what she telling me now?
Yeah, but if you can't be direct, then just leave it alone.
Direct always doesn't get the job done.
Right, exactly. I couldn't think of a time when passive aggressiveness is okay. I'm trying to think of it, but I can't.
Oh, okay.
Maybe letting somebody down passive aggressively is useful. Maybe in one of those situations.
Speaking of that, what's the best way to tell somebody no? What'd you say?
Like nicely?
Yeah.
Like in what situation? Just any situation?
Like situational.
Yeah, it'd have to be like a certain situation.
Like a guy, he slides in your DM.
He slides in your DM real smooth.
I'm really...
Or even firing somebody. What if you gotta fire somebody?
Oh, I don't want to fire anybody.
No?
I think I'm really bad about like when people like slide in my DMs, or like when people, especially if it's in person, you know, like if it's in person, it's so much different. If someone's trying, if you don't want to talk to them, or you don't want to go out with them, I think it's really hard. And I'm one of those people where I'm like so nice, and it's hard for me to just be like, no. I'm not one of those people, and I wish I was.
Y'all heard that?
It's hard for me to, you know, like,
you gotta read
make
one of
people
those books.
upset.
She'll let you know and have it.
I'm trying to be more like just to the point, because if you're not, people will take it any other way they can, and it's like, it's bad.
Drag it out.
I try.
Drag it out. You sound like you've been there.
Someone actually told me once, like, the only way, if a guy is, you know, trying to get at you or whatever, and you are just not into it, you have to just say no and move along. And even though if you feel like you're mean, it doesn't matter, because if you say anything else but no, they will think like, oh, well then
they have a chance.
Like,
there's a chance.
And
that reminded me of Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah, and that's what always happens, because it's really hard for me to just be like, no. I feel terrible. I don't like to do that. I don't like to let people down. And I'm really good at just avoiding things. Like if I don't know what to say.
You just ignore it?
Yeah. If I don't know what to say, or if
I got a good one for you. When somebody asks you something, there's a great way to say no. You say, how am I supposed to do that?
What? How am I supposed to do that?
What?
Yeah. Just ask them that. See what they say.
I'm gonna steal that for real too. I'm gonna take that one home.
But like, what if a guy stops you and was like, "Oh, can I get your number?" And then you say, "How am I supposed to do that?" That doesn't work.
That doesn't work. Well,
that doesn't make any sense.
It makes
they
a lot
ask you
of
for your
sense.
phone number. I just act like I don't hear them.
He gonna say, grab your phone. Oh, I don't have a phone.
As it's in your hand.
But as you're walking down the street, like you said, you can just ignore people on Instagram, right? You can just ignore them. But when they're in your face and they're trying to get at you, some guys are aggressive sometimes.
They're very aggressive, and now I feel like it's the go-to to be like, oh, I have a boyfriend, you know? But now it's like...
No, that doesn't work either.
It doesn't work.
That doesn't work
It doesn't work at all.
How do you avoid street harassment? When you're going to the mall or to a grocery store and you see a group of guys.
I always avoid eye contact. I think that's the best way. Like, they will follow you and try to talk to you, but if you don't even look at them, that's the best way. Because once you make eye contact, even for a second, they're like, oh, got her.
On her.
And, it's like, and then you can't get away from them. So I try to avoid eye contact. I'll try to get on my phone, do anything I can. But you're right, some of them are so aggressive and scary sometimes.
Aggressive gets scary?
Yeah. Sometimes for us women, you know how it is. When then they don't want to take no for an answer. And it's hard.
Well, you see, there's a rule.
I just speak to them. I look them in their eye and I'm like, hello. I speak first.
Oh, for real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I don't want them to think that I'm scared of them. And I don't want them to... Yeah, because then they're like, oh, acting weird. So I just try to give them eye contact and speak first. And even if they say something cute, I just keep walking like I didn't hear it. Or I just laugh, ha, ha, ha.
Oh, that was the little.
I'll be like, hold on. I'll be like, oh yeah, okay, give me a second, and I'll just keep walking.
You just run away.
Yeah.
Run away.
That's
Detour.
cold-blooded. Speaking of eyes and looking them in the eyes, do people listen with their eyes more or their ears more?
Well, I think to let someone know you're really listening to them, you're supposed to give eye contact. Like, that's what it's, like, known. And I feel like if I'm really listening to what someone's saying, I am, like, looking at them, and I'm really, like, you know. But obviously we need to hear what they're saying. So.
Obviously we need to hear.
But I think eye contact's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when people listen, do you think that people listen with their eyes, like they're looking at the body language, facial expression, or do you think that we're more so listening to what someone says? Like, which one do you think helps us decide what a person really means?
I think with your eyes, because I think just like body language and everything is part of understanding someone. And if you're not looking at them or anything, then you're not, you're not really engaging and you don't really understand. And like if I was just listening to you and I couldn't see you, what if you were over here had tears in your eyes and I
right, exactly.
Know? Yeah, what if
that's
you
added information.
Different? Yeah. So you're right.
That body language is key.
Yeah.
For sure.
I for sure listen more with my eyes.
Terrible. I'll literally be trying to look this way. Oh, I hear you. Don't worry. Shoulders won't be facing you. My hips won't be. None of that.
That's how you listen to people?
Yeah. I listen the best when I'm not looking at you.
I can't stand when people are on their phones when you're talking to them. I hate that. I think it's so rude. I just hate it. Like when I'm talking to you and you're just like, like, okay, like I'll just talk to myself.
Exactly.
Like,
I'll just start talking to the wall.
Yeah.
La la la.
I hate
That's funny.
that.
Yeah, for sure. So you're a blogger. You blog about beauty, fashion, and all things. What does it say? All things.
All things fabulous.
All things fabulous.
Yes.
That's right.
All things fabulous.
Yes.
Well, recently they just passed. Well, the FCC just destroyed net neutrality, which if people who are listening don't know what that is, that's basically our access to the internet. So with net neutrality, it says that carriers can't charge or discriminate against different providers or users of the internet. Something like that. I'm probably not explaining it perfectly.
Yeah.
But without net neutrality, apps like Instagram or websites like Google can charge us every time we use it. Now that was the public users. So Google can say, okay, it's going to be $2 to Google something. With net neutrality, they weren't allowed to do that. So it's just a different type of protocol or regulations. So net neutrality is being devoured right now. So we're not going to have that. How do you think that's going to affect you as a blogger?
I think it's scary. I think you don't think paying for the internet would be scary?
No,
I thought you were saying no.
Like,
yeah.
Really? How would it be?
I think that's going to change everything. It really is. It's kind of scary.
What's going to be the biggest change?
I think social media is basically like the platform for so many things these days. And I mean, I think if you had to pay for it, it would eliminate people who weren't serious about it, I guess. But still to have to pay for it, I feel like they make enough money already. Like,
yeah.
Right. They got all the bread.
Corporate greed.
Really? Like they have the most money. Like Facebook, how much is Facebook worth? Like an insane amount.
Billion?
Yeah. Why do they need to charge?
Well, we don't know if they are. It's just now the FCC.
They have that.
They have. Yeah, they can do that now. They have access to do that.
I'd probably say the biggest difference or the thing would be you'd have to pay for your information. Like, you want to start blogging, like, or continue to blog, you're going to be,
or you can go to the,
pay, for that, you're going to have to pay for those searches. Or if you're going to have to either go to the sites yourself, start picking up encyclopedias again. And encyclopedias are probably past due because that information is 20 years old.
Where would we be without Google, for real?
So,
you were saying earlier that you thought that it was like, it wasn't real. That's how unreal it was.
I saw something about it today and I thought it was a joke. I really did. I didn't understand that it was actually
a real thing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's crazy. Oh my!
It's definitely scary to me, but I'm thinking like I wonder if like publications like print copies are gonna make a comeback now. I wonder.
True. Because everything is the internet.
But then that's also gonna, publications are gonna have to spend more money on that. They don't spend as much money going digital as you would print work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still going to hurt their pockets too.
Being digital is going to cost more money
than it is now.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're pregnant, and no matter what you do, no matter what you try, you can't stop using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco. But no matter how lost you are, how far along you are, it's not too late. There's always hope, and there are many safe places that can help you stop using. In Nevada, pregnant women are given the highest priority for substance use treatment. Low-cost treatment options may be available so you and your baby can get healthy now. If you or someone you love is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant and using alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 to find help today. SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org also has resources for healthcare providers, friends, and family. If you want to help someone who's pregnant and using, visit SoberMomsHealthyBabies.org or call 211 today. Sponsored by the Nevada Division of Public and Behavioral Health and in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
We're happy to have you with us tonight and hope you'll come back often.
You're listening to 91.5 KUNV, Las Vegas.
The Rebel is KUNV HD2 Las Vegas. Vegas. Fellas, things
done got too far gone.
Need some good old hope around here.
So we got a question from Perk, huh?
Yeah. Most definitely.
Perk had a question.
Oh no! Well, you were speaking about the net neutrality,
right?
And how it's going to make blogging and other types of internet ventures more difficult. Have you thought of any ways around those kind of parameters that they're trying to set?
I think at this moment, all of us have to just wait and see what these internet providers do, what these companies do. I think we have to wait on that. And there's still time for them to retract this movement.
Yeah. So we don't know if they're gonna do it yet.
Right.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
My friend was saying that Netflix put out a statement basically saying that they're not gonna do that.
They're not gonna change.
Thank goodness.
The last time Netflix did something, they lost more than half of them. And Netflix actually has a documentary out how they don't like the term firing people. And I forget.
What do they do? Separate employment?
Separate. Sounds like you done fired a couple people yourself.
Nah.
Because he said you made that sound way too
separating
political.
Employment. Yeah, heard somebody say that once.
Nice. So, what kind of projects you got coming up, Stephanie? Or anything you excited about?
Right now, I mean, I have a couple like photo shoots and stuff coming up. I just want to keep working on my blog. That's my focus right now. Maybe get into some other things that I've been thinking about. But right now, my focus is on my blog. I want to keep growing it, see what I can do with it. I think it's really new right now. I'm still trying to figure everything out.
How long have you been blogging?
It's been almost a year. It hasn't been a year yet.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Is there any stories that's missed or that past year that you didn't get to cover that you wish you could have?
Well, for my blog?
Yeah.
Well, my blog is mostly like fashion, beauty, travel, like lifestyle kind of stuff. Like I just take things in my life and I try to, put out there, because I originally started my blog because I used to get so many messages on Instagram, like from girls about like, oh my God, I love your outfit. Where'd you get it? Like, I love how you styled this. I would have never put these things together. And so like, I would get them all the time. And so I was like, I want to start a website where I can show girls, like I can create outfits and I can help basically style girls and then show them where they can get all this stuff.
You want it to be like a source for women looking for
like I just want to help people out and put my individual style out there. And a lot of people say that with my makeup and stuff because I love makeup. I love experimenting. So just doing all that kind of stuff and just a place to go. And like I love looking at blogs and stuff like that of, girls
how do you plan to monetize your blog site?
What do you mean?
Like, how do you plan to make money from it?
Oh, well, right now I'm just basically trying to grow because I feel like the more followers, like the bigger following you get, the easier it is for you to make money, And I've had a lot of people like approaching me lately about working with them and their brands and putting it on my website and, making some money through that, which you can do that. But
So you're probably gonna start looking for sponsors or be a brand ambassador,
Yeah,
things
like that. A lot of brand ambassador things have been contacting me, but I kind of want to just, see where I can take it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
It's a new venture. It's exciting.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like there's so many things you can do with it, and I'm just kind of experimenting with it, see where it goes. But, we'll see.
Yeah. It sounds like you're not afraid of getting lost in the woods. So
What? Was that shade? That was shady.
I'll be lost in the woods myself. You don't always know exactly where you're going to go, or you don't know what the destination is going to look like. So you have to just take that leap of faith, or take those couple steps.
Yeah.
Because success is almost like driving in the fog.
Mm-hmm. Do you follow any other bloggers so that you can get an idea of where you want to go?
I follow a lot of like fashion Instagram. I don't know what you would, if they're technically bloggers. I know they call themselves bloggers. I don't know if they really have their own websites or anything, but they are like influencers, you know. I follow a lot of girls that do the makeup and then the fashion, and I love following all the Instagrams. There's not really that many websites that I follow that much, just mostly Instagrams. But I like having my website separate because I know that you could just have your Instagram and you could use that by itself, but I like having
without having a blog site. What do you think the difference is between someone that's an influencer on Instagram versus someone who has a blog site and they're a blogger?
I feel like you can do so much more with your website. Like on Instagram, you can make a post and just one single post or whatever, but on my website, like I can have all these links and I can I can do so much more with it, and I feel like it's more,
you become more of a resource.
Yeah, and
at
I feel
that
like
point.
it's just a little more professional, I feel like. I mean, Instagram is awesome and I love it, but I feel like when you have a website, like you're putting so much more into it. I feel like it was hard. I mean, putting together my website was so hard, and I put a lot of work into it.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it was hard. So
kudos to you.
The skillfulness, huh?
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I try. But
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm still learning, so we'll see.
The day we stop learning is a bad day.
Yeah.
For sure. So I wanted to shoot back to you about a couple things about communication.
Okay.
As we're talking to the master of communication.
I'm the master.
So,
The master.
yes. So there's a couple skills that come with communication. I'm going to name a few off. It goes listening, confidence, empathy, nonverbal, respect, and clarity. Which one of those skills would probably be the best for controlling a situation?
I think respect is so important. I think in order to communicate, in order to understand and communicate effectively, I feel like you have to respect the other person. You have to just be, I think, and to be understanding, you have to care, you know?
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so I think respect is so important.
Yeah, I looked up a couple of synonyms of respect. One of them was admire. So you have to admire somebody to respect them. And
I like that.
I don't think a lot of people really understand how to have an admiration for somebody.
Why you look like that, Perk? You don't like that one?
What? No?
Admire equals respect.
And they're running the same lane. Get on them. Tell what you think. What you thinking over there, engineer?
No, it's not that. It just took me back to a conversation we was having like last week at Bro's house when you said you have to admire someone to respect them, right?
Yes.
So that just took me back to something you said, and it made me think about.
Tell how the puzzle pieces.
I told
well, what's the tea?
I told him that you have, in order to love someone, you have to respect them.
Yes.
Put some respect on there.
He told me no.
Who did?
What?
And then
who twice said?
Does that even sound like me?
He told me no, and if we could call on air,
what do you
Bros,
think, Stephanie?
I think if you love someone, you have to respect them.
Yeah,
for sure.
That don't even sound like me. You see, respect, care, honesty, compromise. How many times have I said that?
I don't know.
Oh,
sound like you're naming off tattoos to me.
Nobody don't know.
You said it a couple times, but that just threw me back. That's why.
Oh, see, he's supposed to have my back. I thought you had my back. You see, Perk gonna try and.
In order to love someone, you gotta respect them.
Yeah,
I think it just goes hand in hand. If you love someone, you're gonna respect them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, period.
Oh, I can't believe Perk had me with that one. Oh, so which one? You said the respect is the most important when it comes to controlling a situation.
Oh, controlling a situation.
Interesting. So, speaking of Perk, he had a request. He was like, man, why do I always have the negative tones and the negative thoughts about when we're speaking for the men? So, fellas, I got you. So, we asked about how
to let somebody down.
Or how men can approach us.
We talked about the wrong ways to approach.
Yes,
so, can we talk
the
about
right
a good way to approach?
How does somebody come correct,
so break the ice and make it, real nice and heartfelt.
I'm trying to think of, like, times where I've been like, oh, okay,
that
to
was
a guy.
Cute.
I'm trying to think, but I don't know. I just feel like the only times I'm getting approached, like, in person is by a guy who's being real crazy. And
real crazy.
So
going after
it would just be so nice to have someone just come up and just talk to you. Like, why does it got to be like, can I get your number? You know,
like just right off the bat.
Like,
weird.
Do you want to know my name? Like, like, it's just, I feel like it would be nice if a guy could just come up and talk and just, I don't know.
Okay, so
not be
just
crazy.
Be like personable a little bit.
Yeah.
This just in. So one of my partners was telling me one day, he was like, so yeah, why don't you just hit her with like 2 or 3 questions. Right after the 3rd question, you got her to smile, go ahead and drop the line, ask her for her number, and then go ahead and get up out of there before it gets weird.
Before it gets weird. That's weird. I don't like when people ask me for my contacts the first time they meet me. Mm-hmm. If you do that, I'm going to be like,
The first, so it got to be the second time.
Yeah, I like to get a little familiar. So, relax a little bit. Yeah. I thought it was really cute. A guy approached me. I'm sitting down. I was going to CSN at the time, and I'm sitting down in their common area. And this guy just walks in. He was cute, so it worked. Let's be clear. You got to be cute a little bit. He was cute. He walked in. He grabbed my attention. I'm just reading a book. He walks in. He's like, oh, you was waiting on me. I'm here. I know it's corny, but it was cute because he was real cute and his smile was cute. So that was cute.
The one time that you said
I didn't give him my number though.
Work with you, and
I didn't give him my number, but it was cute.
It was cute.
He grew on me, and then eventually,
cute or not,
he eventually got my contacts, but just not the first time.
Oh, okay, so you saw him again?
Yeah, I saw him a few more times. We got familiar. Yeah, you gotta plant the seed. There it is. Yes. Plant the seed, water it.
Water it
a little bit.
Then come pluck that tree.
They go get the fruit.
Fruit of the labor.
Okay. So there's this word that's going around. Speaking of the best way. Oh, I was gonna actually tell you about the time that I remember you said about it was a good
trying to call me
a
out,
good
girl.
approach line. I'm just gonna bring it back to your remembrance and see if it was really what you said was. So what do you say you was on the strip? And you said you guys didn't talk, but he walked by and grabbed your hand or rubbed your palm or caressed you, and then you say you
somebody's touching me
on your hand, and then he turned
twice. Don't try that. Don't try that.
Oh, so
how would you feel? Like no.
That's another thing that annoys me so bad is when people that I don't know touch me. Like it's just crossed. So I don't even care if you're just touching my hand.
Do not touch
me. What if it's one of those, mademoiselle?
Oh, that's no.
I do not like when people kiss my hand.
No? I don't like it either.
What about chivalry?
I
thought that was a part of chivalry.
Maybe if you're like
since when?
Like yeah, like I feel like a lot
We've been doing it all wrong, fellas.
Well, have you ever walked up to a girl and just kissed her hand? Like, have you ever done that?
And I did when I had a cape on, and it was in the back in.
You know what? If a guy approached me and got on his knee and actually did it that way, I think I would laugh so hard. I would probably find him I would find him entertaining.
What about his confidence?
So I might be a little intrigued. I might be a little intrigued if a guy walked up to you and he was handsome and cute, and he got down on one knee and actually did the whole little thing, like just being cute. Would you find that interesting, or would you be like, I
probably would find it interesting. I think it's always those things that are different that get our attention.
That's not charming?
He's not afraid to be himself.
That's charming, kind of cute. Isn't it?
Yeah, it could be charming.
Yeah, so another word that's going around.
I hope somebody does that too. After they watch the
right
show.
after, it's going to happen
might work, man. Go ahead and shoot your shot.
It would be like an inside joke.
Well, what about social media now? Because I feel like that's how people meet each other now.
Yeah,
like we don't really meet people in person anymore. I feel like everything's online. Like how many messages do you get? It's like
I don't know.
I don't know. They blocked.
I have the requests in there, and I don't look at them until a long time after.
I feel like that's how most guys try to talk to girls.
That's the easiest way. We can get anywhere, anytime. Send off 30 messages in a row.
That's the wrong way to do it.
30 in a row. See who responds.
What's up, baby?
No, what they should do is follow you, start leaving comments, get familiar, then slide in the DM.
And then, that's how it works?
I mean, to me, that would be a slicker way than to just hop in my DM right away. It's odd.
That's odd.
It's like you in everybody's DM if you're doing that, to me.
It might be. That's supposed to be DM, the message, direct. Because I might have a few directs that I got to do.
Oh,
no.
So do you like to be approached?
Like in person or... I mean, yeah, I don't mind it. I just don't like the crazy, the cat calling, all that.
The cat calling.
So what about this? So there's this word that floats around that always has negative connotations. The word is thirsty.
Oh, yeah.
Is that... why is that always perceived as a bad thing?
I feel like thirsty is such an annoying word.
And how do you
it is an annoying
thirsty?
word.
Right, and I feel like so many people use it as like someone who's persistent, then they're thirsty. And it's like if you were, like if you're like into a guy and he's being persistent, then you would probably be like, you're into it. But if you're not into them, then they're thirsty. Yeah. So it's like, and I feel like people these days, I don't understand, like in communicating, like people think that if you're talking too much or if a guy wants to talk to you too often, then they're thirsty. Like, why?
It's like a perception thing.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that you feel that way.
Like if you're into a guy,
shoot your shot then.
Yeah, that's a breath of fresh air.
if somebody has, if you said already like I'm not interested or whatever, and you keep trying, then maybe that's gonna
thirsty.
Be annoying.
That's thirsty.
Yeah, that's a little thirsty. But I think it's annoying when you're talking to someone, like you guys just started talking or whatever, you're dating, and they think that if you're calling too much, or I mean, I guess there is like a point where you're gonna call too much.
End up being thirsty.
But they just think that someone who wants to talk to you and wants to hang out with you is thirsty, and I think that's stupid.
So this is the issue though that I have, that a lot of women are shooting down guys that are so-called thirsty. But have we ever?
I think we see guys as thirsty when they're. I feel like when they're doing that to lots of women. And
yeah,
it's
for
not
sure.
Just you know, it's like.
And it's obvious. It's obvious in the approach.
Okay, so here it goes right here. What are some other words besides thirsty that mean thirsty, or like some synonyms?
Well, like I just
desperate.
Said I think...
Desperate.
Oppressed.
Oppressed.
I do think people
that's
think...
what we gonna throw that in the thirsty.
Oppressed.
I thought you said
and
oppressed.
Then pressed. Like she's oppressed or he's oppressed.
So
oppressed.
Okay.
I think people who are thirsty are desperate.
Okay, want me to shoot you a couple that should also be in that box?
Okay.
Wish.
Wish.
Pray. Not E-Y-A-Y.
When you said wish, I thought about Ray J singing In the Rain. And that was definitely a thirsty song. It's okay, though.
So we're literally sitting, he said that was my cut, too. If I had one wish,
oh my gosh.
Best friend, take it to the... Oh, yeah,
so being a pretty girl...
Wait.
What?
So, with that being said, girls are sending away guys that literally wish and pray to be with them. That's what
he doesn't know her, so
what
how are you wishing and praying to? You should only be wanting to get to know someone.
That's the goal.
Yeah, you can't just I want to be with you.
Okay.
And I think that's just like being attracted to somebody, you know, and it's not more.
What about the guys that just want to lust every day? Want to have a girl they can lust over every day?
What about?
Is that weird?
Women
want it too.
Okay.
What
do you mean? What about the men that want to lust every day? What
obviously, if they're
I don't know how to comment on that.
They only like you because, or they're talking, or if they're trying to get your number, don't know about you or anything, they're possibly, more than likely, lusting. What'd you say?
Yeah. So deuces.
No. Yeah, that's not how we're supposed to feel. Not supposed to feel lucky.
I mean, you can feel how you want to feel, but I'm not interested if that's what it is.
Oh. Why is that?
Because I'm not.
It's just not attractive.
Because she's just not. Okay.
It's
Right,
not,
that's not my thing.
It's not attractive.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm just asking.
You're silly.
Everybody got their own things they like to be attracted to. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anyone wants
some
to be
questions for the
somebody's meat to beat on.
Somebody's.
And that's what it sounds like. With a lustful guy.
91.5 KUNV Las Vegas. The Rebel HD2. No playlist, no repeat. Your source for underground hip hop. Just real music radio. KUNV HD2 Las Vegas.
Because, let me tell you, it's going to be, and then once it gets to that point, I lust for her mind. But I lust for her mind in the first place anyway.
Yeah, real cute.
Come on, now it ain't cute.
On your
That's just
Instagram
what we talk about.
earlier, you showed me a guy that left like a mean and nasty comment,
Yeah.
right? He's like, "Oh, you're thirsty."
Somebody wrote on my picture tonight. Today, yeah. Said like, this girl's so thirsty, she should kill herself. That's what someone said on my picture on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've never had anything like that, and I don't
Was
really.
it a private page, a block page, or
It blocked me right now. It was a fake page, but I just could not believe it. I've never had it. I mean, I've had people say like just little like hater things on my pictures before, but like but I could not believe that. Who would ever say something like that?
It's like cyberbullying.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for that.
Oh, you should ask for some bread now. That's the thing.
Oh my God, I was like in shock. Like, first of all, why are you even here? And like, what if?
Why are you even here?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
And what if? I mean, to me, I just like laughed at it. But if that was somebody who actually hurt them, that's like scary. You don't say stuff like that.
Do you find yourself getting picked on often, like on social media, because you post these? The pictures are about beauty, right? And there's stigmas associated with pretty girls every now and again. How do you ever experience those stigmas being thrown in your face, like thirsty or attention whore, things like that?
I get a lot of, I think mostly people just saying like, oh, I thought you were really stuck up. I hate that, because just because a girl posts pictures and is involved on social media, I don't think that makes you stuck up at all. And I my whole life I've always had that, where I think anybody who, I just feel like girls always think like, oh, I thought you were stuck up, or I thought you were this, and then when they meet you, they're like, oh, you're so nice, and it's like, why do we think that? If you see a girl that she's stuck up, I just don't understand.
It's probably TV.
Is it the walk? Is it what is it? What do you think it is? You think it's that be the hair flips or what?
It's probably TV.
TV?
On TV, the pretty girl is the mean girl, or she's the devious girl. She's the manipulator. She's dumb, or she's stuck up.
Manipulator.
Oh my gosh, you love that word.
That's the word of the day.
People think I'm mean.
I know.
I think it's because I'm short, though.
No. Really? Are short girls mean?
I don't know. I feel like if I was tall, if I was a tall, pretty girl, I'd be like, oh, look at her. She's so cute and sweet. But like little pretty, I just feel like people are like, look at her little mean self. Little meanie, little stuck up.
For sure. Yep, I know. That's exactly how it is.
I just hate that. I hate it.
The stigmas.
I've been getting it my entire life.
I think that people, I think that it's not fair, and I might get chewed out for this. It's not fair that that people think that pretty girls have it easier.
Oh, yeah.
When they face a lot of stigmas. They face a lot of stigmas, the mean stuff, stuck up, dumb, all of that. Then they have to deal with the men being aggressive in their approaches.
Another easy thing to change.
How do I change a man approaching me?
All you gotta do is just look him in the eye, just like you told me.
They still shoot their shot.
They're still gonna.
I mean, I do the phone thing too. If I'm in a hotel and I'm walking to a hotel room, right, and there's guys in the hallway, that's not a moment where I'm gonna be friendly. I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm in the hallway right now. Yeah. Or if I'm in a parking lot. Yes, I'm definitely. Oh yeah, I see you.
Parking lots are the worst, or like parking garages. That's scary.
Yeah, I'm pretending. Oh yeah, I see you, babe.
Follow you to your car.
Oh, I didn't know that was the joke.
People do that all the time. I've had people follow me to my car so many times. It's scary.
It's odd.
Yeah.
Scary and odd.
Mm-hmm. It is odd.
Oh my goodness.
Like, wouldn't you think that's probably gonna make her feel uncomfortable if I follow her to her car? You know, like.
No, you know what he's thinking? She was looking.
Oh my, that's probably.
Oh, and that's worse.
You smell good walking by.
Oh,
that's good.
That's worse. That they think that you're into them.
Yep.
No.
Oh, some girls just play hard to get.
No, some girls are hard to get.
Some girls are hard to get.
Or they're just not interested.
And you
they're not interested.
You may only have one shot. One. You may not ever see her again. Somebody just told you this is the angel that fell out the sky, and you was just hoping and praying.
Who told you that?
The man in your ears.
Don't follow anybody to their cars, okay? Twice.
She
might pull out that gun.
Work for you.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
The Lord is good all the time.
Lock and load on you.
Pull that pistol out and start telling you what's real good.
Silly. So you never heard of pretty girls experiencing things that maybe not so.
Or in that pretty girls are stupid. That's
a big
another one. I used to have blonde hair too. I was blonde my entire life, and when I was blonde, everyone thinks you're an idiot. Everyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what'd they say to you?
And I feel like people just look at you differently. I feel, and I feel like pretty girls, you're right, do have it harder sometimes, because I feel like sometimes when you think the pretty girl is just like,
or they experience.
So
I didn't want to say harder, but no, I don't mean to say harder. But they experience some hardship because of their appearance.
Yeah,
so totally. What? So we talking about what? Some 7s, some 7.5, some 6s, out of a scale of 1 to 10. They the ones that got it the easiest. Is that what,
that's not what we said.
I didn't mean it like that. I take it back. I take back the harder part. Okay. I just mean that it's so true that if you see like a pretty girl, you think she's like stuck up. You think she's not smart, and you think about it in like jobs and stuff. How they tell girls or like they don't tell you, but it's like the women implied. Who are more like, you know what
attractive.
I mean? Just, well, like they calm it down a little bit. I feel like if you're done up and you're so over the top, it's like it's a bad thing, and I feel like it's looked upon like
you're vain, you care about your looks only.
I don't know. You know what I mean? Just in like the workplace, I feel like that's a completely different thing. And
all right, so let me ask you this. Speaking about compliments, so what is the best way to get someone's attention through a compliment? Is it appealing to somebody's vanity, like you said, or is it appealing to their boredom?
To their boredom?
Mm-hmm.
I actually saw something.
What does that mean?
I know, right? I was thinking, what does that even mean? But I actually just saw something that was like the best way to compliment women like the most is dealing or saying something about how smart they are, and that was like what they react to the most.
Ooh,
yeah, I saw that.
Cute.
Yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, because you don't really get guys being like talking about your intelligence. It's mostly just like, oh, you're so beautiful, you know. And I feel like, oh, you're so beautiful is like it's.
So how are we supposed to compliment your intelligence when you walking by on the phone talking about, oh, I'm on elevator 3?
I feel like it's a hard.
Oh yeah,
thing
girl,
to
you smart. You smart.
I feel like it is hard to compliment. I don't think you can start with that, but I feel like, you know, if you're with somebody, you guys have been dating or whatever, and if you talk about that, I think it's very nice. You know, that's nice to hear.
For sure.
Okay.
It's not something people just say all the time. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, people do always compliment the outer appearance.
Yeah. Yeah, and I
it shows more
interest. I forgot where, but it was like the thing that women.
So take that home twice.
Okay, I got something for you to take home then. So, so would you rather somebody be interesting or interested?
That's a good one.
Interested in what?
Interested in what?
I think interesting.
Interesting?
I
agree.
Interesting people, you know? Yeah.
So
interesting.
Don't be too interested in me now.
Why don't you? What?
I don't want that pressure. But if you're interesting, then it reels me in. Then it gives me something. I don't want to be the entertainment all the time. You know, you need to entertain me too.
Absolutely.
Oh, so confirmation. Interesting. Okay,
I think definitely interesting.
Write that one down.
Interesting for sure.
Oh.
It's always nice to have someone who's different and like intriguing, you know?
For sure.
So what would you say the best pickup line? Well, in fact, let me tell you about my
The best pickup line.
The best line I said.
No line.
No line.
Let me tell you, it
Is
was
this your pickup line?
Well, it wasn't a pickup
Let's
line.
grade it.
It was more like something that just spazzed out. After we were talking for like 90 seconds. She hit me with something.
And you spazzed out.
No, I wouldn't say it's bad.
Y'all see Twice approaching you, make sure you got your pepper spray ready.
Oh my goodness.
No, ain't your pepper spray, baby. I'm just gonna be like your peppermint, real fresh. And listen though. So we were talking or whatever, going back and forth. She ended up saying like, "Ooh, you a smooth criminal." I said, "Nah, there's two things wrong with that statement. First off, I ain't do nothing wrong. Second thing, I ain't trying to get away. So, you gonna come with me?" She said, "Oh, yeah, what's your number?" Her name's Celeste.
She liked it?
Yeah, she only texted me one time, though.
I bet she did. I bet she blocked you. Oh, got it. Blocked.
Oh, but it was good, though. You a hater.
I don't know if that was a good pickup line, but
pickup lines are funny.
And it flew off. I never said that shit, that stuff before in my life.
It just came out. It was just so natural.
Yeah,
it was like word on it, huh?
Yeah, it was just like right in the moment. I said, and then after it happened, I said, "Oh, where did that come from?"
You were like amazed.
Yeah, I had to write that one down.
I don't know if that one would have worked for me, but hey,
I
Celeste.
think pickup lines are funny. Like, I don't think they ever really work.
Have you ever tried to pick up a guy?
I don't think so.
Never? Why not?
I don't know. Like, you mean like just go approach a guy?
Yeah, sure.
That freaks me out. I don't know if I could do that.
Never.
No, it makes me nervous. I'm such like a...
And nervous to go tell a guy hello? You don't think he's nervous when you tell him?
Probably, but I don't know. It's hard.
You know how much mustard he has to pull up together to go say what's up to a girl he's attracted to?
Probably.
Have you heard the word called calogenophobia?
No.
Yes, that's a
Explain it twice.
A real fear. That's a real live fear, and I have it.
What is it?
A fear of approaching and talking to pretty girls. It's a real one.
I think a lot of people will probably have that.
And guess what happens when you have that fear?
That's what you do?
You be all, sometimes you don't even say nothing. You be like,
I don't believe him. I think he just says that.
I'm telling you.
Because you've approached pretty women, so it must not be too much of a phobia.
You know how I got the confidence to do so?
Weed?
No. Being shot down the bullet holes. Pow, pow, pow. Mission failed. We didn't crash and burn.
Do you approach guys?
Yeah, I've approached guys. Do you think there's a problem with women approaching guys?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Just not your thing?
I don't know. Like, I'm very, like, social, I feel like. Like, I'll talk to everybody, but if it's, like, oh, I want to go talk to him, you know, like, it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
You got to give him the eye first.
Well, let me tell you this. Like, I haven't had a girl stay around longer than 3 weeks that hasn't approached me. Is that weird?
So when you approach them, it doesn't last long?
Correct.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, never. Longer than 3 weeks. Matter of fact, I might say 17 days.
17 days to be exact.
That's funny. It's short span. Anytime. For sure. But when she approached me, it's a lot different story.
But think about Khloe Kardashian. She approaches her guys.
Yeah.
Really?
She approached Tristan. That's the story.
What about French Montana?
Oh, I don't know about that one. But the story is she got at Tristan and
I thought
they're
it was
together.
a blind date. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a blind date.
Oh. Interesting.
I see nothing wrong with it, and I would like to be more like that. But I don't know, it makes me nervous.
On your blog, you channeled Kim Kardashian.
Oh, yes. I did an outfit post where she was my inspiration.
Mm-hmm. What was the inspiration behind channeling Kim K?
I just love her style. I really do. And one of her outfits, I was like, yes. So
how would you call it? Like, how would you name her style if you had to put it like a name to it?
Well, now she has, like, she used to be so, like, glamorous, you know, and now she's just so simple and, like, effortless, and it's so, amazing at the same time. I just love it. It's like trend? Simplicity. It is. Like, I think it is a trend, just being simple and and it still looks great. Like, you don't have to overdo it. Yeah.
If you could choose any Kim Kardashian or any Kim Kardashian, the K words, if you can choose any one of the Kardashian sisters or Jenner girls to trade places with, who would it be?
Who got to the best?
I think Chloe.
I would definitely do Chloe. Yes.
I just love her.
What she got over everybody else?
She's just fun.
What about Kylie? Kylie's not a good one?
She is.
Yeah.
But I'd rather be Chloe. She's popping.
Okay,
Chloe is amazing.
What separates her from the rest of her sisters?
She's just so herself. Like, she just don't care. Like, this is who I am. This is how I am. And
you think everybody else tries to be...
She seems more authentic than the rest to me. She expresses more of her personality than the rest. She's been doing that.
Yeah.
Her growth is what attracts me to her. Because she was really private and just not with the celebrity life. And now she's just blossoming into this little mogul. I like her. I like her personality too. She's really popping and
look
fun.
at the stuff she went through, you know.
Exactly.
And now I feel like she's just.
Yeah, we probably can just relate to her more.
Yeah,
so,
I like her.
So,
who would you choose to be with?
Who would I choose?
Out of the sisters.
Question.
Man, that was a great question. First off, because I like who like me. First off.
Oh gosh.
And so.
But when you're just looking.
So never mind. No, I'm just joking.
Never mind. If I'm looking at him, for some reason I'm always. It's about who's first. And the first person I seen was Kim.
Oh my god.
I was like, Kim hit the scene and it was like.
You could at least said Kendall.
Kendall.
Yeah, Kendall's popping.
Nah, Kim.
They're all popping.
Yeah,
they are.
Kim was cold, but then she kind of had her little issues and stuff like that. But now she's starting to get back to her old Kimish ways. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for real. She was real nice and cold. Yeah.
So Kim.
Yeah.
He chooses Kim.
Team Chloe.
How you figure that's not? What?
Hmm.
I think most guys.
So you just like who you see first. That's how
it's
you.
more like.
That's what he said.
First come, first serve.
Low key, and she gonna be the one that sticks.
He's loyal. He's loyal to Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have,
Cute.
and put it like this. I moved out here in Vegas. I can probably say I'm from here now, but I haven't lost a friend since I've been out here. Loyal to the core.
Good for you.
Yep.
That's right.
I'll die for my partners.
Mm.
Why you said
That's
okay,
deep.
see you later.
That's deep. I ain't dying for that one of mine.
So, what's the biggest key to unhappiness, would you say? I want to ask a couple questions about you.
Probably just, I think you have to be happy with what you have, you know? Like, if you are grateful for the things that you have in your life, I think we're always wanting more, but you're never going to be happy. There's always more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't just be happy with what you have, then you're not going to be happy. And then I think comparison. I think we always compare our lives to other people and where they're at in their life compared to ours. Yeah. And you got to just live in the moment, live in your life and appreciate what you have at any moment. And, you know, it's so hard not to compare yourself too. Like now, especially with like social media and stuff and all these reality shows and stuff, and you see all these people's lives, and you're just like, oh, I want my life to be like that. Exactly. Or you see on social media, like they look so happy and they're doing all this stuff, and then you think, like, oh, am I not doing enough? You know, it's so hard. But I think we have to remember that people put their best foot forward on social media. You know what I mean? And I think, it's just you can't compare yourself. So.
You have to find the inspiration from it when you do compare, instead of dumbing yourself down.
Yeah, it always makes us feel like if we don't have that
we're doing something wrong.
Yeah, but that's.
Okay. You gotta have more gratitude in your life.
Yeah, having gratitude, I feel like, is the key to happiness. Just be happy with what's going on. It's like if you think about it, your life's probably pretty good, but we just compare it to others, and we think, like, oh, I want that. It's like you always want something more, and even if you had this many more things, you're still going to want more. Because there's still someone who has it more than you.
I find the issue lying in instant gratification.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I think...
I love instant gratification.
I love getting it right now.
That's popping.
It's hard to be, like, patient and stuff. It is.
It's hard to be patient?
Because we, like, we do things, we want it now. Whatever we want it right now. And it's so hard to just live in the moment that you have at the time and know that, like, oh, maybe you'll get that in the future, but right now you got to just be happy with where you're at. And we all
have
like
to slowly work to get
to where
get
you want to
there,
go,
yeah.
but we all just want it now. I mean, that's duh.
So where do you see yourself in like 10 years? Or 5 years?
Question. Hopefully, just happy. You know, I want, hopefully, you know, eventually I want to have a family, like that kind of stuff. And I just want to have a career that I love and be successful in what I'm doing and just, you know, yeah. So we'll see.
So I got another one for you.
Okay.
If I were to say that, no, I don't want to ask that one.
Never mind.
So, what kind of things do you avoid in life? Or is there any things that, like, you know, that you don't like to encounter, or situations you try to stay away from?
Especially with blogging. You're doing a lifestyle type of blog and Instagram. How do you make sure you're at the right events or the right parties or the right birthday parties, making these connections?
I mean, I think like networking and stuff is so important, and it's hard, and I think just being out there and just meeting new people always is the best thing, because you never know who you're going to meet wherever you're at, and I think that's what really gets you the connections and moves you forward with where you want to go. But
how do you avoid, like, you know, the like, senseless nightclub outings that it's Vegas,
those.
so
I hate those. I hate those. I'm so over the nightlife and like everything in Vegas. So all my friends know now that I don't like going out.
Well, that's good.
Staying in the house.
I just don't like. I'm just over the nightlife, you know. Like, it's hard, and I know that if I went out, maybe I could meet. You could meet people, but it's like the nightlife around. It's just, I'm over it.
Well, my pops always told me. He said, "There's always going to be a party." So he was like, "Make sure you get your stuff done that you gotta get done."
Yeah, it's like there's no need to go out and party every night and sleep all day. Like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
And I feel like, especially in Vegas, a lot of people get caught up in that.
For sure.
So, is there like a question that you've wanted or always wanted somebody to ask you that they haven't?
I don't know.
No? What kind of questions are you asking these days?
Asking who?
Asking
Right, it depends.
Who are we talking to?
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, well, it's more like, I really couldn't tell you who.
Give us an example of a question that you would want someone to ask you.
Ask me? How can I help you? That would be a great question to ask me.
Do you want $1 million?
Do you want $1 million?
Only if they have it to give me.
Oh yeah. That's the question. That's the question.
If they have it to give me, yeah.
Only $1 million? I think your services may be worth a little bit more than that. Why are you gonna shortball yourself?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my bad. I'm just saying.
Not that deep.
We gotta think higher. Oh.
Okay, $1 billion.
Faster, further. Oh.
You said, "How can I help you?" I don't know how high that was.
Well, see, that's the thing. If they ask me that, I have an answer, and that could lead into anything.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I guess he'll get a point for that one.
See, guess what?
I'll give him that.
You know, we call that just what you like, planting the seed.
Silly.
Plant the seed.
You know, and then all you gotta do is just let me put a little water on it, baby. We gonna talk about growth. You know what I'm saying, girl? So we got a couple more questions for you before we wrap it up.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for us? First off. I know you
She's
got
like, "No, I'm
right?
not interested."
No, I'm not interested.
I'm just joking.
Well, I mean,
we put you on the spot, so.
Yeah,
Every
jeez,
time.
you guys.
Every time.
I don't know. I mean, I love what you guys are doing. Like, what's
love.
your guys' goal? Tell me. Like, what's...
How about you tell me what your goal is?
This is phase 1 of Twice Talk. So eventually we're going to go to TV or television or a podcast instead of just streaming live. And the goal of this show is to bring everyone back into these mannerisms of politeness, chivalry, dating, just getting a little bit further away from what the generational norms are.
Yes.
Okay.
Bringing back values to the things that are timeless. Love, peace, patience, joy, happiness.
Our generation's getting a little
right, and
a
so
little out of it around here.
A little out of control, yeah. Because I tell people all the time that we, as society, get glorified for disrespecting and demeaning one another. So like, so you could slap somebody and they going down in the Hall of Fame, or like even what about when Wayne said you from the home where murder make you famous? Like, oh my goodness.
I mean, it's the truth, but
and that's just the way reality is. Or so, today's reality.
That's the goal of the show, to just
bring them back. I guess
to
values.
Be more humane.
Oh yeah, humane. I was looking up that word the other day. That's really nice. Oh,
that's a nice word.
Yeah. Another nice word that we like to use, and it's one of your favorite words that we talked about today, manipulation. But
oh my gosh,
it's your favorite word now. It's going to go back to his cousin. We're not back at manipulation. We're going to his little cousin, and that one is deception. So the question goes like this: can you have a healthy relationship without a sense of deception?
Do you think it's healthy to be deceptive?
Can you have a sense of? Can you have a healthy relationship
with it?
Without deception? Can you have a healthy relationship without deception?
Well, why would we want to be deceitful? I don't what do you mean?
Right, because he's being deceitful asking. Right now.
Yeah.
Because what he's really asking is, are you going to be completely open in a relationship? Like, do you save anything for yourself? Because we do deceive people sometimes, right? In a relationship with friends, you don't.
Don't try to sit here and try to spill all the beans.
Do you mean like when you don't fully?
You don't reveal everything.
Yeah.
You don't reveal all your.
That's not the same direction I was going, but that is a different thought that I did.
It's a different aspect of being deceitful, I guess, or
Yeah, I think it takes a long time for people to show their true selves, and even I feel like even when you've known people forever, you still don't fully know them. So I guess we are being a little deceitful.
Well, how many days does it take for you to start belching in front of a guy?
Belching.
Just letting him have it.
I don't burp.
I don't really do that. Yeah.
I don't belch.
No?
Yeah. I try not to do that ever. So.
Oh, okay. I was just going to see how long you was going to be deceitful.
You mean until you're comfortable with them or whatever? I don't know. I think it depends on how much time. I mean, I think there's some people that you just. It's quicker, you have more of a connection and it just happens faster. But sometimes it just takes. I think it takes time.
So, with the communication master, how do you speed up that time it takes to get comfortable with somebody?
I don't think you need to speed it up though. It's part of the process.
If one was to, because sometimes it's faster than others, sometimes it's slower than others. What is the factor that actually determines that rate of comfortability with the individual?
I just think the more time you spend with someone, obviously, but I think when we feel like people are opening themselves up more, then we feel more comfortable to open ourselves up. So I think spend more time, and the more you open up and the more that they see that you're being vulnerable, I feel like
then
then they'll do that.
That's
they'll do
the key.
Yeah,
that's the
I like
factor.
that.
Because that's it for real.
Because if you feel like they feel safe enough with you to expose that, then you're gonna feel safe. Yeah,
I think all of that should happen naturally. That's not something that we should force.
Yeah, I don't think we should try to speed it up.
Don't force vulnerability, because that's how you do it. Like if you want to
that's how you do it.
That's for real. If you want to connect with somebody, you want to speed up that connecting process. You have to
drop one of your walls and then that person.
Moments.
Yeah.
And so once you have those kind of moments with somebody, that is what makes that process or goes along with the process of comfortability.
But some people are hard to get through. So
yes, like you.
It won't happen all the time.
Yeah, you perfect.
So I've been told.
Perfect example.
But it's all good.
We was talking about second chances one day. She said she gonna make you wait about 12, 13 months for the second chance.
It depends.
And then she gonna give you a million tries to goof it up, and then once you half a goof, you're out the door.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, out of the door.
I think it depends on what they do, but
for sure.
Just
you be doing second chances?
It depends.
Depends.
I mean I've given a few, But it just depends on what they do.
Second chance.
You have to protect yourself.
Yeah, you have to, because I feel like if someone does it once, they're gonna do it again. You know?
Okay. Excellent. So, you got any final thoughts today, Stephanie?
Today was fabulous.
Hey.
Most definitely. We appreciate you for coming down. Just want to acknowledge you for a moment. We see all your hard work. We see all your dedication to your craft, and it's very moving to the people, and we enjoy the things that you write because it gives people another perspective, another way to look at things in a more beautiful light. So continue to keep the write.
Thank you.
And they say the more you write, the better the writer, the better the thinker, and you're on your way to thinking twice to be thinking right.
Ooh.
You know what I'm talking about?
You thought that was slick.
So,
thank you.
Most definitely. Oh, you got any final thoughts today?
Yeah. Gentlemen, the next time you see a pretty girl, just chill, try to get familiar with her, fill her out. Don't ask her for her contacts on the first time.
Don't ask her.
Be smoother than
I feel
that.
like, they kind of have to because they might not ever see you again.
Yeah.
Then it's
that's
not
what
meant
I'm
to
saying.
be. It's Vegas, though. It's Vegas, though. Like, you're bound to run into that person.
No, it's not supposed to. It's not always bound to. Because I done ran across a few things that I never ran into again. Sometimes
a few things. Is that what we're calling them?
What would it be?
No, it's fine.
But she's right. If it's meant to be.
I mean, if there's a such thing as destiny.
No, you gotta go. Instead of don't just wait for the knock. You gotta.
If you feel like that, if a guy said that
too.
and was really honest like that, that would be cute too. Like, hey, I really don't mean to get your number right off the bat, but if I never see you again, then I have no way of contacting you. So that might be cute if he was honest like that, but not just, hey, what up?
So
you
good.
good?
He can't say it like he likes himself. Or like he's said it before, is what you're saying.
I say get familiar and chill, and if you run into that woman again, then cool. But if you absolutely have to get their number because you're scared you're never going to see them again, whatever.
I think that you should give your number. Like, they should give you theirs.
Their number.
Because
that
it's
never works. I never get a phone call.
It gives the girl the option instead of being put on the spot and then having to give her number because she feels awkward or whatever. I think it's so much better if you just be like, here's my number. If you want to call me, you can. Then cool.
You know what that's like?
Put the ball in her court.
That's like throwing one sock at the bottom of your hamper and then hoping you're gonna find the other sock. That's what.
No, because if she's into you, and
never
if it's
gonna
meant
find
to
that
be,
sock.
she's gonna call you.
That is a slick approach.
Well, let me tell you, there'll be a first time for everything, and hopefully that's going to be a first time one day. But guess what? I ain't never got a phone call from a girl that I put my number in her phone.
You didn't see that story on Shade Room. This guy.
Just for real.
This guy asked this lady for her phone number. She was in her car, and her window was down, and she was like, no. So he threw his phone in her car and was like, here's my phone. And then he went home and called his phone. I guess they got married. They've been together ever since.
Maybe you should start throwing your phone at
people. Yeah.
Oh, psych. You know what they're going to do?
Here's my phone.
So they're going to change the number, charge it. They're going to buy all the apps.
I thought that was cute.
It's like those crazy, interesting, different things. That's what
that was cute to me.
I mean, we don't recommend going and throwing your phone at people, but maybe it'll work.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute.
Maybe.
I think it's cute, too.
Let me tell you. I'll just write a note on the glass or something, and then hopefully she don't got tinted windows and she can read it or something.
Silly.
So my final thoughts today is that when we listen to people, is listening isn't knowing what the person said. It's knowing what the person or the motivation behind what the person is saying. Because there's always a couple things that they're trying to get done, or a lot of people don't speak about what they're really intending to say. But if you understand the motivation why they're saying it, then you're actually listening to what's going on. And go take a listen over at OverTheTopLv.com. Because if you're looking for the stars behind the bright lights in Las Vegas, you don't got to look no further. I'm telling you, go ahead and listen to the poets, the painters, and if you listen to the painters, you're using your eyes this time. You know, we got the artists, we got the Model Mondays, we got the Soulful Sundays. Anybody that's doing anything in Las Vegas, we like to highlight them and let them know they are a level above the rest. And I'm telling you guys, we need your music to be ran on the air. I promise we can get it on the 91.5, the HD2 station. All you gotta do is send us your tracks to TwiceTalkMedia@gmail.com. Make sure you edit it make it a WAV format file, and then send that on, and we're going to start spinning your records over the air. And remember, if everybody in the world thought twice, it'll be a better place. Love, baby.